Welcome to this next class of physics in which we are going to learn about dynamics of charged particle. What do we mean by this dynamics of charged particle? We are going to learn about motion of the charged particle in uniform electric field and motion of the charged particles in uniform magnetic field. As we know, charged particles means it may be a positive charge or a negative charge. Now, when we are talking about uniform electric field or magnetic field, that means we are saying that the acceleration is constant. And if the acceleration is constant, we can apply the equations of motions such as v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to s naught, that is initial displacement, plus ut plus 1 half at square, and v square minus u square is equal to 2as. These equations we cannot apply if the acceleration is not constant. So these are applicable when acceleration is uniform or acceleration is constant. Okay, let us see the next point. First, we are going to talk about uniform electric field, and specifically we are talking about two conditions. That is, if the charged particle is at rest or it is in motion along the direction along or against the direction of the field of the electric field. So we want uniform electric field. This uniform electric field can be obtained, as you know, by using two conductors. The field between these two conductors is uniform, and we are going to have a charged particle. This charged particle is positive. Now it is going to be either at rest or it is going to be moving in the direction of the field. It may be moving in the direction of the field or it may be moving against the direction of the field. For this type of motion, first we will try to derive the equations. Which equations will be applied here? Remember, this is a uniform electric field. That means the electric field at each point here is constant. So first let us find out the acceleration in this field. As we know that electric field force is equal to charge into electric field. As we know, electric field is force divided by charge, so we can write force is equal to charge into electric field. The force that the charge is going to experience in this field will be Q into E. Now, force is also equal to mass into acceleration, where m is the mass of the particle, and this will be equal to Q into E. Therefore, we can write acceleration will be equal to Q divided by Q into E divided by mass. That is, the acceleration of the particle will be in the direction of the electric field for positively charged particle. And for negatively charged particle, if you put negative sign here, you will understand that acceleration will be in opposite direction of the field. Now we can derive an equation for the velocity of the particle. As we know, this acceleration is d2r by dt square, where r is the displacement of the particle, will be equal to q into E by m. Now if we want the velocity, we can write this as d2r divided by dt is equal to QE m. 1 dt I am taking on this side. Now we can integrate both these sides, and this side on the left hand side we are going to get dr by dt. We are doing integration of this derivation, so one derivation will cancel and we'll get dr by dt. Here we will get, on this side it will be QEm. Now all these things are constant. The charge of the particle is constant, the electric field as we know is constant, and the mass of the particle is also, charged particle is also constant. So it will be just integration of dt. So we are going to get QE by m into t plus some constant of integration. We know that this dr by dt is the velocity, so velocity will be equal to QE t by m plus c. If we consider this in vector form, what does it mean is that if it is a positively charged particle, the velocity will be in the direction of the field, and if it is a negatively charged particle, the velocity will be against the direction of the field. Now we have to find this constant of integration. To find the constant of integration, we will equate t is equal to 0. Then the velocity will be the initial velocity. The velocity will be initial velocity. So we will get initial velocity. This whole term will become 0 as we have equated t is equal to 0. So we will get u is equal to c. That means this constant of integration is nothing but initial velocity. Let us replace that value. So we will get v is equal to QE t by m plus initial velocity. As you may recognize, this is nothing but v is equal to u plus a into t, the equations of the motion. This quantity here is nothing but acceleration, QE by m. Okay, now let us derive equation for the displacement of the particle at any instance of time. For that, again we will have to express this velocity as dr by dt, which is equal to QE by m. This is the acceleration into t plus u. Again we will repeat the same procedure of sending this dt on other side. T into dt divided by m plus t into, sorry, here we have u, that means we will have u plus u into dt. Again we will integrate on both the sides. Integration of dr will give you r. Integration of this, that means QE by m is constant. You will be integrating t into dt plus u is constant. The initial velocity will be constant. Integration of dt. Integration of t dt, that means you are going to get t square by 2 plus u into integration of dt, that is t, plus some constant of integration. Let us write it as c2. Now this will be equation for the displacement of the particle at any time instance. To find the value of the c2, again we will equate t is equal to 0 at the beginning. So at that time the displacement will be equal to the initial position of the particle, whatever initial position is there. So these two terms are going to get equated to 0, and we will get c2 is equal to r0. Everything else is going to become 0. So this will be the initial displacement of the particle. Now we can write the equation for displacement as r is equal to eq by m into t square by 2. This is the acceleration, if you remember, plus ut plus c2, that means this is r0. Now we can write this, express this into vector form also. All these are going to be vectors. This will be the equation for the displacement of the particle at any time instance. If you compare this with s is equal to s naught plus ut plus 1 half at square. It is the same equation that we have got. Here acceleration we have written as eq by m. Now we can represent this displacement in a diagrammatical form by using the concept of law of triangles. We know that if we have one vector in this direction and another vector in this direction, the resultant, let us call this as a vector and this as b vector. The resultant of this vector will be given by joining drawing another vector from the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector. This will be the resultant vector. So we are going to use this and express this resultant displacement in diagrammatical form. Now to get this resultant displacement, first we will have to add these two vectors. So let us draw these two vectors. Let us say this is the a into t square. That means eq, we know is a vector, eq t square by m. This is the first term of this equation. We have represented that as a vector. Then it is added to this second term. So let us draw this second term in some direction. Okay, this is not the fixed direction. It will be at some direction. This will be u into t, where u is the vector. Now this is going to give us a resultant. Let us represent that resultant here by joining from the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector. This resultant, when we add with the third term, now the third term is the initial displacement of the particle. We will add this with the third term, that is the initial displacement of the particle. Let us say the initial displacement of the particle is shown by this vector. This is the r naught. So resultant of all these three we will get by joining from first vector to the second vector. Here the first vector is this one and the second vector is this one. So this will be the resultant. Now we know the resultant is the displacement vector. So the displacement vector can be represented in diagrammatical form like this. This will show you the diagrammatical representation of the equation that we have just written. Our displacement vector is equal to eq by m into t square by 2 plus ut plus r naught. Now we will consider if initial velocity is equal to 0. As we know, if the initial velocity is equal to 0, the equation for the velocity at any time instance will become, we had the equation u plus a, that is eq by m into t. If we consider u to be 0, the equation for the velocity will just become v is equal to eq by m into t. Eq by m is the acceleration. Same way, if the initial velocity is 0, that means initial displacement will be also 0, and the equation for the displacement at any time instance will become eq by m into t square by 2 plus u into, u is 0, u is also 0 and r naught is also 0. So the displacement will be just given by eq by m into t square by 2. These are the equations for the particle which is at rest initially. For particle initially at rest. If the particle is initially at rest, that means its initial velocity will be 0 and its initial displacement will be also 0. If the particle has some initial velocity, then we can use these equations to find the displacement and this equation to find the velocity. This is the equation for the velocity. So depending upon whether the particle is at rest or it is moving with some velocity, some uniform velocity, we can apply the proper equation. But remember, this is the condition when the particle is either at rest, or in motion, it is moving but along the direction of the field or against the direction of the field, then we can apply these equations directly. But if the particle is moving in perpendicular direction, then the equations will slightly change. The equations will be slightly different. That derivation we are going to see in the next part of this lecture. Thank you. Okay, let us solve an example based on this. We have two parallel plates which are kept at a distance of 1 centimeter. In between them, air is there, and the potential difference of 100 volts is applied. If there be an electron resting on the plate at the lower potential, calculate the force on the electron and the kinetic energy of this electron when it reaches the other plate. So there is an electron in between this, and it is resting on the lower potential. That means it is resting on this negatively charged plate. It is resting here on the negatively charged plate. Because this positively charged plate will be at high potential and this negatively charged plate will be at the low potential. Initially they have told us its initial velocity is 0. That means its initial displacement will be also 0. Now first thing they have asked is what is the force on the electron. To find the force on the electron, we know is equal to Q into E. Now Q here is the charge of the electron, that is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. It is a electron. And electric field, but they have not given us the electric field. Instead they have given us the potential difference, that is 100 volts between the plates. The distance between this is 1 centimeter, that means it is 0.01 meter. So from this we will have to find out first what is the electric field. And to find the electric field, if you remember, we will be using this equation. Potential difference is equal to electric field into the distance between the plates. So electric field will be equal to potential difference divided by D, that is the distance between the plates. So potential difference they have given us 100 volts divided by the distance, that is 0.01, or we can just write 100 divided by 10 raised to minus 2. So the electric field will be equal to 100, that is 10 raised to 2 into 10 raised to 2. We have taken 10 raised to minus 2 in the numerator. This will be 10 raised to 4 Newton per meter, or let me write, this will be Newton per coulomb. As we know, electric field is equal to force divided by the charge, so we can express it as Newton per coulomb. Now the next thing they have asked is the kinetic energy of the electron when it reaches the other plate. That means what is the energy when it reaches this plate? As we know, it is an electron, so it is going to move in this direction. So that means to find the kinetic energy, we will have to first find what is the velocity of the particle when it reaches the other plate. To find the velocity, we will just use this equation, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Now A, as we know, is EQ by m, that is the mass of the particle. S is the displacement. Here the displacement is nothing but the distance between the plates. And U is 0, so we will get V square is equal to 2 EQ D divided by M. Let us write, let us keep this equation as it is, because we want equation for kinetic energy. And we know that kinetic energy is equal to 1 half mv square. So let us put the value of the velocity square. We will have velocity square is 2 EQ divided by m into d. So here the mass will get cancelled, this 2 will also get cancelled. We will have to just find what is EQ into d. So this will be E, as we know, is 10 raised to 4. Charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Now I have not taken the negative sign because we are calculating the energy, and the energy of the particle is positive, into 10 raised to minus 2, that is 1 centimeter. So if we solve this, the powers, that is 10 raised to minus 19, we have plus 4 and minus 2. Okay, what we are going to get is 1.6 into 10 raised to, I think so, we'll get minus 70. This will be the energy in joules. This will be the kinetic energy of the particle when it reaches the other plate. So this will be the kinetic energy of the particle. And we have also found out what is the electric field, that is 10 raised to 4 Newton per Coulomb. Thank you.